And welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Deep Soul Work. Today we're going to be focusing on your rhythm, your rhyme, and your poetry. And I wanted this to be a little talk, a little exploration on the things that make us human, but also make life worth living, and the qualities that we bring into the world, into reality, that give life its flavor and its vibration and its movement. And so these are things that emanate from us, that emanate from our souls, that we bring forth. And that's one of the key aims of what I'm calling deep soul work. It's about meeting and recognizing and bringing forth these qualities. Deep soul work is something that we bring out in each other through a process of mirroring and exploring, so that we can kind of see these qualities and allow them to emerge. So the way that I would describe it is truly discovering the sacred parts of ourselves. You know, the idea that the sacred is something that is essential for life. So there's an aspect of who we are at our core that amplifies life itself. So each one of us has this gift, this capacity, this potential that is waiting to be discovered. So it's like forums like this, these chances for us to get together and witness and co-witness each other, that creates the special environments, that creates the fertile circumstances that allow the soul to emerge. And so I will have some guests today that will kind of help us to kind of look and do this exploration and give us an experience of this deep soul work. Later, we may even do a message or two, and really get into it. First of all, I would like to introduce Dr. Dolores Fazzino.
Hi,
Hello.
Michael.
Hi. And my dear friend, Connie Messina. And
Hi.
I'm so pleased to have both of you here, because I've worked very closely with both of you over the years, and have watched like the development of my teaching, and I've learned from both of you, actually, in terms of healing and teaching. Connie is a nationally known teacher and counselor and author, and her understanding of the brain and human development is quite impressive. She always has amazing things to share. And Dr. Dolores Fazzino is a more than a medical practitioner. She is as much a master of like the soul and healing, and the healing process. And she has some very amazing, always some amazing things to share about that. And she has personally helped me through my own healing processes as well, going through operations and such, and but understanding it from a spiritual perspective. So she was like this amazing, amazing support for me in this regard. So uh, both of these amazing women, I would suggest to you to look them up. Okay, you'll be quite impressed. Um, so we're here to talk about deep soul work and the idea that within us is this treasure, this potential that through engagement, through witnessing each other, this potential is invited to emerge, and the I'm just invite you to share a little bit about um, what you've seen and what you've known, either with work that I've done or in your own experience around these ideas, these principles. Dolores, if you'd like to go first.
Or Connie, whatever, sure. Well, healing is really a, it's a self-growth journey. That's the way I describe it, because we're sovereign beings, and we have the innate ability to heal ourselves, but yet so many of us give that power away to something outside of ourselves when we have all the answers within us. um, Coming to earth has been an interesting has been an interesting journey. I feel like we all get our PhDs in being human and dealing with everything that the growth experiences. But you know, coming to earth is not for the weak of statures, because truly on earth we experience emotions, probably, and you have to have a physical body to experience emotions, believe it or not. But often I see a lot of people in their heads and not connected to their physical body, where you can experience your emotions. So I think a dead giveaway sometimes is when people say, I think I feel, because they're not actually feeling, they're intellectualizing their emotions. And so sometimes there's a disconnect from being in your head and in your body. There's like no connection. So a lot of times I'm in the surgical realm, I see energy around people, and when patients come in, it's like they're talking heads, the energy's around their head, it's not incorporated into their physical body. And it's really important that your energy is incorporated into your physical body, because that is, I feel, the most important thing a person can do, is to be fully present in the moment, because that's
Mm-hmm.
where everything happens. And a lot
Mm-hmm.
of times we aren't that way. So I know that's a little out there, but it's the truth.
Yeah, yeah. Not really. I mean, my own
Yeah.
experience. I think that's true. And Connie, any thoughts?
Well, I've known you, Michael, how many years? Over 20 years,
Oh,
probably.
over 20. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe more.
And and you're always a teacher. You always have wanted to have classes and teach people and help people. And the thing that I admire the most about Michael is he doesn't tell us what to do. He invites you to learn, and then you make your own decision about what it is that you need to do. And he's just so insightful that no matter when I participate with him, I always get something wonderful out of it. And so we're lucky to be here with you tonight, Michael.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Uh, One of the key things that I wanted to bring out is, when I think about like what I'm presenting or trying to present now in terms of like deep soul work. I see it as inviting us to discover the sacred part of ourselves and to realize that we are sacred beings. And with
Mhm.
all that that means, you know, the wonder, the mystery, the auspiciousness of being a sacred being. Sacred meaning important, critical to life, critical to each other's lives, okay, to sustaining life. And this is quality that many people in our world are not in touch with, even as it pertains to themselves.
Mhm.
They don't see or understand or know or realize themselves as sacred, as truly sacred, you know, wonderfully uh, uh, connected to source, you know, even divine, or having that spark, that touch of divinity within. And I think that the sense of that blindness, that deficit, uh, impacts society because it collectively kind of holds us back. It's like society that loses touch with the sacred, its sacredness. Uh, uh, People that do not know themselves are hobbled. It's like they're handicapped, and uh, it's like deep soul work. You know, what I'm calling deep soul work is it's about getting people to know their wholeness, you know, the potential, their wholeness, and that so much has to do with education.
Mhm.
And I know you, Connie, as an educator, you've worked with young minds, and you've worked with people in university and such. Um, I was wondering, it's like how you've encountered people's, you know, what people are struggling with on the deeper level, what you see going on.
You're asking me.
Yes.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was in education for over 30 years, and what concerned me was teachers trying to teach to kids without really understanding the children,
Mhm.
without being able to make connections with them, and thinking that their role was just to like put out information and then the kid just takes it in. And I saw lots of wonderful teaching, and I saw lots of things that were, I would think, gosh, if these parents could see what their kids were going through, they'd probably pull them out of this situation, um, because there was no respect for the soul of the child. Yeah.
Hmm.
And
Mhm.
who that child was. And I was subbing in a classroom one day, and one little boy kept talking and disrupting the class, and I just went to him like this. I said, "Come on up here." And I said, "You have a hard time staying quiet, don't you?" And he said, "Yeah, I didn't have my medicine today." I said, "Oh, well, you know what? You want to go get a drink of water? Because water really helps the brain
Mhm.
relax and
True.
helps you learn." And he said, "And that boy that I'm talking to, he helps me with my work." I said, "Okay, fine. You two can talk if he's helping you and whatever." And so then when he left the room that day, he said to me, "Are you a regular teacher here?" And I said, "No, I'm a substitute." He said, "That's too bad."
Oh, he got it.
And so I felt like I really made a connection with that kid where, somebody might have just yelled at him for talking or whatever.
Yeah.
So we
Mm,
missed the opportunity to connect with people
Mhm.
soul to soul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and people
Yeah.
want to be, they
Yeah.
want to be heard too. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And
yeah,
validated. And so that's amazing. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, precisely. It's that humans, they have the, of course, this need to be seen,
Mhm.
simply seen,
Mhm.
and that's like a powerful transformative like medicine within it, in and of itself, and and that's been kind of very central to my own work. Is that, people ask me, well, Michael, well, what do you do? How do you work with people? Like, what do you do? And it's like, when what I tell them is almost too simple. What I say is what I do is, well, I meet them, I meet them, and then I see them. So I
Mhm.
see people, you know, I see
Mhm.
them, and then um, they, you know, they get to see themselves. They get to see themselves, and then the soul steps forward. The soul, the soul, the consciousness steps forward, and they experience being whole. You know, and we have a visitor.
Yes, we do. Good, Gracie. It's okay. I'll tell you, she doesn't come too often when I'm online. So this is just like
Ah, very
she's
good.
feeling the energy.
The energy, exactly,
Yep.
exactly. Um,
It's it.
let's 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 see. So, but I'm also curious in terms of like how this pertains to like healing and even people's recovery and people's growth on the physical. If you have any
Um,
observations around that.
I do. And one thing that was coming to mind when you were talking about the whole sacredness was like reclaiming your sovereignty as a
Mm,
human being.
hmm.
Because we're all sovereign, and we've forgotten to that, or we've been told we aren't. We're going through major shifts right now of people reclaiming their personal power and taking
Yeah.
their power back and claiming their sovereignty as a human being, and making the right choices for them. And it kind of circles back a little bit when we talk about health and wellness. It's like, how often do people give their power away in regards to that, to something outside of themselves to get their answers? Now,
Yes.
I say this, with all due respect. I'm Western medicine trained, but I also dabble in alternative and complementary. I witness this in people. They feel that their body, mind, and soul. It's like a separate entity, but I have news for you. It's not a linear progression or a angular, it's a matrix. Everything is interconnected in ways we have no idea. And that's
You,
inclusive of your thoughts, your beliefs, your connectedness to your inner knowingness, to your higher self, whatever we define that as personally, and also to our physical bodies. So, and it's not only this lifetime, it's also multidimensional. And so it's dimensional healing as well, going back to ancestral stuff, but also in this lifetime and in future lifetimes to come.
yeah.
Everything's happening all at once. So the great gift, I feel that when people reconnect with that understanding and they're in their awakening, the sky's the limit as far as the possibility of healing things.
Precisely, precisely. Uh, it's true, and you've been able to, even in my own health challenges, you've been able to kind of advise and support me around those very same principles. So I can definitely attest to the validity just from personal experience.
Thank you,
Um,
Michael.
yeah, and um, yeah, so it's like no, I called this particular episode, if you will, like your rhythm, your rhyme, your poetry, and So it's like these aspects of soul, your flavor, your vibration, your rhythm, your rhyme, your poetry connotes a a synergistic, a dynamic, a process that uh, indicates life, life, a wholeness. Certainly, as I said, synergistically over and beyond just the separate parts. It is like the unity, the harmony, the internal harmonization, and as it expresses, and we experience like a harmonization in outwardly in the collective, you see. And so there's like this um, consistency, this continuity in terms of like the reality of the deep soul, and the collective, the world that we all find ourselves like swimming in, living through, that we all contribute from deep within, and then manifest collectively, manifest a as I just like to say, a life that is worth living, worth uh, experiencing, i.e., we reflect to each other meaning. It's like,
I agree with that because, so many times it's more in the things that trigger you that are getting reflected back to you that are like little indicators of what, okay, I personally need to look at. So obviously something is pushing my buttons. I have a choice here of either I could react to it or I could actually respond to it. So it's like for me, I kind of pull myself back and say, okay, I notice this is pushing my buttons. I'm not really sure why, but help me understand what it is I need to see. And usually I'll start getting some intuitive hits of and also working on that particular aspect of what needs to be shifted within.
mhm.
So, reflecting, the mirror being reflected back, both positive and not so positive stuff, it's there. And if you want to create more of the positive stuff, just continue to embrace what you're doing because you're witnessing that.
Yes, yes, yeah, exactly. So it's like one of the things that I like to like bring out to help people sort of understand and realize is how we are each other's medicine in a sense.
Absolutely.
You see, and it's like to the degree that we are conscious of that, it's like to the degree that we know that, we begin to sort of live and navigate and proceed in different ways, in much more awake and dynamically positive kinds of ways, when we understand that we are each other's medicine in a very uh, real and meaningful sense. And it's like I like to say that, when talking about rhythm and rhyme and poetry, it's like we are invited to uh, find that divine dance within. It's like to be able to sort of proceed in this divine dance, this play, this ecstatic creative mode of being. And and this is our our great service, of what we bring to life, we bring to the collective. And if we have that awareness, we have that sense of the import and the sacredness of what we bring naturally, even effortlessly, then life becomes different. It becomes different begins to work. Um, I wanted to just hear any other thought that may come to mind before I go into a little uh, closing prayer and meditation.
Michael, thank you for offering this platform as a way to share wisdom uh, to others. And thank you for what you do. I totally appreciate you.
Thank you.
I as well. One of my favorite activities that are in my book is called The Web of Life. And we use the quote of Chief Seattle, um, we're all bound together. Whatever we do to others, we do to ourselves. And we look at all this hate in the world today, and nobody can get along, and they don't like this one, and they don't like that one. And I thought, if we just would realize that you're connected to all those people, we're
Mhm.
all connected. And what we're doing to others, we're doing to ourselves. And this work is just so important. And I'm so glad that Michael is out there and helping a lot of us to do deeper work than what we've even been doing. And I'm so glad. What kind of a doctor are you, Dolores? What's your
I'm a
special?
nurse. I'm a nurse practitioner, and I have a doctorate in nursing practice. So I actually bridge the physical with the spiritual and the invisible with the visible.
So
And
I'm sure that you see in your patients, if they heal emotionally, they'll heal physically.
oh,
I had,
absolutely.
yeah, I had a friend who had cancer, and I said, Mary, that's not her real name. Have you thought about getting into a group counseling and talking
Mhm.
about your emotions and stuff? And she said, no, I already know I hate my mother and she hates me. So I and I thought,
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
oh my, and she passed away within a year, you know.
Well,
Mm,
the other thing is that some people, I always look at it this way. Some people are awake, some people are waking up, and some people are still asleep.
Yeah.
So the thing is like when people are becoming, when they're having their spiritual awakening, they're receptive and they know that life isn't working for them the way it had been, and they're at a crossroads. Those are the ones that I call ripe for picking. They're the ones that are ready to listen and possibly um, move forward. And, unfortunately, there's a lot of people who, are so closed off to any other possibility, they just have blinders on. And, the best thing to do is just hold the space for them and just know and trust that they're getting what they need because that's how they signed up for it. And we have free will and everything else that goes into that. But, maybe in this lifetime, this is what they need to experience as well. So it's not about, thinking it's a lost cause. They're getting what they need to get from whatever experience and whatever they signed up for before they came into this incarnation. So, I know that sometimes
mhm.
it's a real difficult pill to swallow, but that's the reality of it as well. So, just love them up and send them lots of love and compassion. That's all you could do.
Yeah, yeah, and I think I quite agree, Dolores. And it's like that's what we're learning. It's like learning to uh, be masters of loving,
Mm-hmm.
to amplify that
Yeah,
that
very true.
that aspect, that quality. And so anyway, I wanted to thank you both, and I want to kind of close with like a guided meditation, prayer, affirmation, kind of like all together. So it's like short and sweet and powerful.
Mm-hmm.
So I ask everyone to be relaxed and be open, and then begin to open your inner perception so that you can hear like cosmic vibrations of the universe, vibrations of the dimensions. But open up the inner ear, so that you can have heightened spiritual perception, and to open up the inner eye, the third eye. And then allow your inner nervous system to be open and sensitive and amplified. And with this openness, allow the music and the poetry of the universe to wash over you, to reach you. And the vibrations of sacred sounds and truth to reach you and meet you. And you simply allow yourself to be a sacred receiver. A sacred receiver, a sacred knower, and one who is able to give and express and communicate. Allow yourself to be enhanced in the connection to the divine sounds and vibrations, poetry, and energy of the universe. And that your self as a full sacred being is something that you know and live and experience. And so it is. And so it is. So I say thank you and bless you and namaste.
Namaste.
And namaste. And I want to remind everyone that in in January 2024, I will be conducting a retreat here in India called the Deep Soul Retreat in Varanasi, India, for nine days. If this is something that interests anyone out there listening or watching, please get in contact with me at my email at yourdovinIndia@gmail.com, and we'll connect you with all of the information and everything. But it should be quite a wonderful experience, one that is life-changing and amazing, with many amazing people participating. So with that, I say, bless you, everyone. Thank you.
Bless you.
Thank you again.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Michael. Nice to
Okay.
meet you.
And bye-bye.
Nice to
Until
meet you
next
too, Connie.